militaryfreedom.org.
The Bible says, be not deceived. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
All right, it's 4 p.m. on Wall Street. Do you know where your money is?
How much should I invest?
I really looking for some direction.
Should I hold on to my house as an investment for my future?
What should we do to have money that we're putting aside?
Welcome to Financial Issues, where we align reality with truth. Conservative talk radio you can count on. Financial issues that you need to know.
We face a disintegrating economy, a weakened defense, and an energy policy based on the sharing of scarcity. We will simply apply to government the common sense that we all use in our daily lives.
Now, here's your host, Dan Celia.
Good morning. Welcome back to Financial Issues. My name is Dan Celia. It's great to be here. All the major indices in positive territory right now, so it looks like the market is headed for a positive open. The Dow closed yesterday down about 5. The Nasdaq was up slightly, about 9. The S&P was down slightly as well. Gold prices are dropping once again. They are saying that would be basically because of a strong dollar. I'm not sure where they're getting the strong dollar idea. Well, yes, I am, because the dollar is measured against a basket of currencies. Those currencies continue to get weaker, not all of them, but most of them weaker. And the dollar appears, there is a perception that the dollar is growing stronger, and that's why gold is falling. As a matter of fact, gold right now is down slightly. It's only down about $6 according to spot price, and it's at $13.32 right now. Silver is slightly positive, 18 cents. It is at $21.52. So silver is trying to hold on to the gains of yesterday. Natural gas is up slightly, $3.31. Unfortunately, West Texas crude continues to be up. Just can't make its mind up. Overnight, it is now 106.54, 106.54. We were down all the way to 103 something or other. We're back up to 106.54. It doesn't look like we're just going to catch a break at all on crude oil. But the fact of the matter is, it looks like supplies are going to be good. We're switching over to winter gasoline. So we should see gasoline prices going down, although gas prices are up almost, about just over 0.75%. I don't know. All the real reasons why things should be. I guess there's just, everything's a new normal. Everything's a new normal. So we ought to try to figure out. That's what I should be doing, spending time trying to figure out what exactly the new normal is. GDP numbers, that's a new normal now because, and you heard me talk about this in May when they decided to recalculate the way they calculate GDP. That was changed. This is a desperate attempt by the administration, of course, to get back to or get to 3% GDP growth. When that happens, when we get back to 3%, don't believe it because it's not going to be true. So all they're doing is creating more smoke and mirrors is what they're good at. So it's the old story when you have something that is just not working the way you want to, change the way you recalculate it. The government will definitely push. It's the government, along with the entire false economy that they've created, is going to push to see GDP at 3%. And what they're doing in the way they are recalculating, they are including things in GDP growth that have never been included and are not included in any other nation on the face of the earth when they calculate GDP. But they're going to be good enough for America to include because they're going to help GDP growth. They are things that are intangibles. Intangibles. The mere word that they're intangibles means that they are intangible. But we're going to calculate them as tangible growth when we include things like, magazine subscriptions, royalties from books, iTunes downloads, me see. How many people does that employ? I download a song from iTunes. I get that employs how many people? But see, and movies too. You know, they're going to include downloads of movies and downloads of books and all these other things that nobody on the planet is including. But we're going to do it because it's going to probably help. Now, as you can imagine, when you think of magazine subscriptions, other subscription services, royalties on books alone, and some, iTunes downloads, it's in the billions of dollars. Going to add to GDP growth. We're going to include it here in America because our goal is 3% GDP, and we don't care how we get there. It doesn't matter if we have real growth. It doesn't matter if we create jobs. It doesn't matter if we create tax revenues as a result of creating jobs. It doesn't matter if it's real growth in the economy. It's irrelevant. What matters is the headline number of GDP growth. And by the way, don't worry about trying to remember all that because trust me, I'm not going to let anybody forget every time a GDP number comes out. These are the kinds of things that are just so irritating. There are a number of reports right out now based on yesterday's numbers. Now, I told you yesterday I was going to be watching the idea of remember that the U.S. was going to post its July budget deficit yesterday, and that was something I was interested in. Well, they posted, and I was interested in it, and I checked it out. There's also numerous articles out about that. Now, I'm not going to go to all the numerous articles. What I did was find the report, and I got, and I go and I get the report. The report from the government is about I thought I had it here, but I don't, is about 20-page report. So I begin to go through all the numbers. So I did that yesterday. Frustrating. But since we're speaking about GDP growth and the economy, before I get to some other economic numbers, there was an article out yesterday from the Daily Beast. And the writer of the article, in typical liberal fashion, not because I think he is trying to deceive, only because I think it's sad that he really believes what he's hearing, emphasizes the talking point. He says that if you listen to people complaining about the annual deficit, remember that it is melting away. Melting away. Yes, sir. That annual deficit is just falling away. And if you haven't noticed, the debt clock for the nation is running backwards now. I'm just kidding. It is not. But anyway, it should be. We're melting away the deficit, the annual deficit. And he goes on to say that the miracle cure for deficit, it turns out, isn't ripping up Social Security or social safety nets, things like Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, other welfare programs, Social Security, VA benefits. Ripping, he says, ripping up. Driving home. Remember, folks, this is what the between the lines. I'll read between the lines. Remember, folks, this is what conservatives want to do. It's simple, according to him. It's simple as me. This is quoting again. It's growth combined with some fiscal restraint. Growth? Has anybody seen any growth? Hello, growth? GDP growth? Have we seen any? Well, he has. I don't know where he has seen it. Well, I know what it is. He's counting the 1.7% GDP growth. That isn't even close, about a percentage point off from keeping pace with population. Well, we don't care about population. Just because there's more people coming into the workforce because they are coming of age, when they are able to work. We don't care about population growth. Okay. 1.7% GDP growth is stepping backwards. There's no growth. Combined with some fiscal restraints. Fiscal restraints? Fiscal restraints. So somebody quickly name me one government program, one thing in the government that has been cut. Oh, no, I'm not talking about spending that they say they won't do in future years. So next year we were going to raise, the Department of Education's budget by 30%. We're only going to raise it by 15%. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fiscal restraint in cutting. Where might that be? Of course, he doesn't say where it is because there isn't any. Oh, and higher taxes. Yes, he's right about that. It has been higher taxes. Higher taxes certainly have helped with the somewhat of a lowering of the fiscal deficit. There's no doubt about it. It also includes one-time costs. First of all, we've got now 2.2% coming out of payroll taxes for Social Security, right? We got another 2% added to that. That's a lot of money. That was added back in. I can't say that's an additional tax, but it is tax revenue. That's been added in. We also have increases in taxes on the wealthy. You got to love those wealthy because they're helping this deficit come down. That's why this deficit coming down is so dangerous because, look, higher taxes work. There are, he also mentions there are, quoting, there are about 2.2 million more people working today at a slightly higher wage is more like it, higher wage, paying slightly higher taxes. Well, let me just put that in perspective. 2.2 million people, 90% of them are part-time workers and underemployed. The other 10% may be full-time. The president has created 270,000 full-time jobs since his first day in office, and we have about 3 million more people unemployed today than we had at the beginning of his term, beginning of his first term. So slightly higher wages. Wages are at the lowest when we factor in inflation since the 1960s. It's the first time we've ever had a recovery where wage growth has actually gone down for the middle class. But that's okay if he wants to say that. Quoting again, meanwhile, spending on anti-poverty programs like unemployment benefits falls as unemployment claims decline. Well, unemployment claims did decline for the last 2 weeks to somewhere around the 340,000 a week mark. The problem is, so is the labor participation rate and fewer people working, but that's okay. We won't count that. Oh, and he also mentions, and sequester has taken a bite out of the budget of many agencies. Well, wait a minute. Whoa, you're on the wrong ideology trend line there, because the president and most liberals have made it very clear that sequester was not his idea when it was his idea, so he can't start taking credit for it now. But sequester has helped the budget, no doubt about it. The combination of those forces push spending lower. Come on, are you kidding me? But that's what the lamestream media continues to report, because the lamestream media refuses to look at the facts. They only look at ideology, and their ideology is glowing. 866-300-9298. 866-300-9298. We're going to go to break. When we get back, I got a couple updates on some economic news. Then we're going to go to the phones. 866-300-9298. Financial Issues, American Family Radio. We'll be right back.